Carissa. I just wanted to make another video, show you a quick card. My inspiration came from this card right here in the Stampin' Up! Catalog. It's on page 142. And I just want to show you that sometimes you may not have all of the things that you see in the catalog, but that you can use other things to make it work. So I don't have this circle and I don't have this stamp set, but I'm going to show you how you can mix it up with other stamp sets and other things that you do have to make a card that's similar. So here we go. So here I am starting, this is my, this is one of Stampin' Up's new in colors. It's the Rich Razzleberry, and it's a piece of 8.5 by 5.5 paper. That's a 8.5 by 11 sheet cut in half. And I'm just going to fold it in half and crease it with my bone folder to give me my card base. And then I can just set that aside and work on the other elements of the card. So the next thing that I'm going to do is I have this die, which Stampin' Up! Also carries, and I don't know how well you can see here, but this is a scallop circle rather than the straight circle. So this is the die that I had, so this is the die that I'm going to use to create that card. So I'm just going to take it, and I'm going to take a piece of very vanilla cardstock, and I'm going to lay it across my die. And I'm going to sandwich it between my two cutting plates, just like this. Very easy to use. Don't let it intimidate you. And then, it's kind of big here, but here's my Sizzix Big Kick. I think they call it the Big Shot now. Mine's really old. And I'm just going to turn the crank and run it through here to cut out my circles. Now, kind of a bonus on this one is that when I did that, well, I cut it off a little bit, but normally if your paper was big enough, you'd have this extra little scallop circle too. I can probably use that even though a little piece is cut off of it. But this is the one that I was really wanting anyway. So if you'll remember, the next thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to take my Happy Everything stamp set. This is the Happy Everything. And if you'll recall, the inspiration card had the wonderful something on it. Instead of the wonderful in green, I'm going to use the happy in green. And the green that I'm using for this is the Old Olive. So I just take my Old Olive stamp pad, get it opened up here, and I'm going to ink it up and stamp it on this. Now, one thing I did want to mention on your scratch paper, I know that I mentioned that I always use a piece of scratch paper. A good thing to do is save the old things that you print out from your printer on your home computer and just use those for scratch paper. That is what I often use, and if I can flip this over this little scratch piece of paper here and just show you that this was something I printed out on my printer and I didn't need it anymore. So I start a little bin of pieces I can use of scratch paper. So the next thing I'm going to do is go ahead and stamp my, from the same set, Happy Everything. I'm going to use the little word, the everything word. So this could really be used for anything. It could be a cheer up card or whatever. And so I'm taking my Rich Razzleberry ink pad. I'm going to ink it up. And I'm going to stamp it right below this. And there's Happy Everything, it says. The next thing that I need to do is create the little butterfly that goes up here. They had a different butterfly, and I did not have that stamp set. So I do have a butterfly from the Priceless stamp set. Right here, you can see it on the front of here. And so that's the butterfly that I'm going to use for my butterfly. So I just take that, and I'm going to ink it up again in the Rich Razzleberry ink pad. And I'm going to stamp it on my very vanilla cardstock. I just need to give that just a second to dry. It's pretty thick. The ink is still really new, so it's really wet. And then so what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to cut this butterfly out. So I'm just following the edge of it, and I think the key to this is just being... Okay, so now I have my butterfly all cut out, and what I'm going to do is I'm just going to stick it on my circle here with a Stampin' Dimensional so that it will stick up off the paper. It's Stampin' Up, Stampin' Dimensionals. These just pop your image off the paper. This is what they look like. I have used other brands of pop dots or whatever, but I really do prefer the Stampin' Up brand more than anything. It has a little more flex and give to it than some of the other brands. Some of them are like really hard, and I don't know. I just prefer these more than the others. So that's just my personal preference. Of course, everybody's different. And these are giving me a little bit of a trouble here. I just got to peel the backs of these off. Make sure these tabs are out of my way. And then I think I'm going to just put this butterfly at kind of an angle here. So now that that's all situated, I can move on to the other part. Okay, so I completed my circle, and the next thing that I have here, I have my card base again, and I have a piece of old olive cardstock, and it's 2 1/4 by 4 1/4. And before I adhere this down, I want to add my ribbon to it because I'm going to tie it around this piece, not the entire card, because it can be done, but you really don't want to have to cut a slit to tie it around this. So I'm just going to take this, and this is the Rich Razzleberry Polka Dot Grosgrain ribbon from Stampin' Up. They have it to match all their in colors this year, and I really like it because you can use it on the polka dot side here like I'm gonna do, or you can use it on the plain side. So it just takes a little mastery of the tying to get used to having one side or the other show. I'm just gonna cut me a little piece of that off and tie it around here. I kind of want my knot to be over to the right side of the card, so you can always adjust it later. But here we go, I'm just tying this ribbon very quickly, and it just kind of takes a little twisting and turning to get this to where all polka dots are showing and not just none of the plain side is showing. So there we go, we have that tied on there, and I'm just going to trim my ribbon ends here. Now I usually trim mine at an angle, but you can also trim it straight across, and it's really cute too. The reason I decided to use the polka dot side on this card was because my butterfly on this, it's kind of whimsical, so I wanted to use the more whimsical side of the ribbon as well. So now that I have that done, I'm just going to adhere it down. And just get it. I have a lot of people tell me that I use too much adhesive, but I really like my stuff to stick and not fall apart in the mail. So I'd rather use too much adhesive than not enough. So I'm just going to adhere that down on the front. Oh, I'd say about, I don't know, it's not in the middle, so maybe 2/3 of the way down. Whatever, it's kind of offset. And then I just have this that I can either adhere over the top of the ribbon or underneath, and I think I'm going to do it underneath, just like that. And I'll just put my adhesive on my circle here. Stick this down, and you have a very cute card using different elements than what we saw in the catalog, but giving you the same overall effect. So I hope you enjoy your day. Have a good one.